All right, man. Jalen Duren, man. I did a video talking about Sam Mitchell saying that Jalen Duren was the same as Jakob Portal. I don't believe they the same. I don't think it's close to being even. I think Jalen Duren is way better than Jakob Portal. Not saying Jakob Portal is a bad guy, but Jalen Duren is going to be the reason if they succeed in the playoffs. He's going to be the reason, one of the main reasons why. You know what I'm saying? He dropped a 36 piece on the Wizards the other day. Wasn't 83, but it was 36, and it seemed like he starts to ramp it up. After the All-Star break, and they need him to play big. They need him to be athletic. They need him to touch the ball. And I was there when he dominated the Memphis Grizzlies. They need him to shoot the little jump shots and the little shots and stuff of that nature. They're gonna need him. He brings a dimension that most NBA teams don't have. Is a guy who can kill you with the back of the basket, an old school game. Back to the basket, 10 to 15 feet, put the ball on the court, dribble it a little bit. He might be one of the few big fellas who got the athleticism and feet and ball handling ability to do what Hakeem Olajuwon can do. And this game is really well, and he's taking pride on the defensive side of the floor. And Pistons got a real one. I think people underestimate him. I think people underestimate, what he can do. I think people underestimate, his ability and what he can do and all that stuff. So, I think it's gonna be interesting, to be honest. I think it's gonna be very, very interesting to see where he goes, but they're gonna go as far as him and K carry him, and that's the point of this video. So it's consistent, and how much as him and K is able to carry them, that's as far as they gonna go. And that's what I believe. That's what I believe. So they're gonna go. That's as far as they're gonna go. His ability to rebound, run the floor, score, his ability to post up, kill, mismatches, kill guys that can match up. They're gonna need that rebounding and all of that, because we all know they shooting deficient. And they just not willing to move the lineups around a little bit. So you don't want to be K or bust. You want, Tobias is gonna have a game here and there in the playoff series. Duncan Robinson should have a couple hot moments, but the mainstay is gonna be offensively K and Duren. I've seen Nickeil Alexander-Walker drop 41, and we could have had him. He chose to go to Atlanta. Apparently, he wanted to play with Trae Young. That pipe dream didn't last half a season, and he would have been a nice pickup here. It'd have been, with him, and who knows, maybe he doesn't hoop the same way that he hooped in Atlanta. But quite frankly, with him, hooping the way he hooped, I didn't even wear my work shoes. Oh God, I got extras. But the way he hooped, the way he hooped. In Atlanta, if he hooped like that in Detroit probably be the favorites to come out the East by far. They would by far be the favorites to come out the East. So, but it ain't happening. But Duren and Cade is gonna carry them. So he got to stay out of foul trouble. He got to do what he do. He got to do what he do. He got to stay out of foul trouble. He got to do what he do. Rebound, defend, and score. They gonna need the scoring. And I like how they playing through him a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Because you need that. When you don't shoot well, you got to kill the paint. You got to kill the mid-range game. So, yeah, he's shown that, hey, if you give me the rock, I know what to do with it. I've improved enough offensively, and he probably ain't even really just scratching the surface of his offensive game. So, somebody gave me hack in the comments, well, we play through Jalen Duren. You should play through him. I'm not saying exclusively play through him, you know what I'm saying? But about 10 to 20% of the time, yeah, give him the ball. Good things happen, when you're closest to the damn rim. And good things happen. He plays with a different type of pep in his step when he's able to touch the ball. Good passer, obviously good touch around the rim. improving mid-range jump shot and improving post game. He's coming along. And then he's a super athlete, and he's strong. Kind of remind you of Dwight Howard a little bit. He got that little 10 to 15 foot jumper. And his handle a little bit better right now. But Dwight was a beast. I remember he talked about how Kevin Willis held his hand behind his back and he couldn't move it. And that's when he got into the right. He started lifting weights. I mean, yeah. I feel him on that. Another man can, conform you to his will. You don't want that shit to happen no more. Never again. But yeah, we gonna go as far as he can take us. And that's the God honest truth. And that's the God honest truth. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what's up with it. But yeah, they gonna need him because ain't no shooting magically gonna pop up. I'm pretty sure the Malik Beasley pipe dream is gone. That pipe dream is gone. So yeah, that pipe dream is gone. But yeah, K gonna need him. I think for this year, he's a really good second option for them, to be honest. Just stay out of foul trouble and keep feeding them. And they should be playing off of him and Cade. 2-man game, playing with Duren in the high post and the low post. It might get them a little bit better looks, but obviously some other adjustments that they need to make in their lineup that JB got to make. JB should be willing to make these adjustments, in my opinion. So we'll see if he do or he don't. But he should be willing to make these adjustments. So hopefully he is. But if he ain't, he ain't. So, but I think you might see if they're probably going to be unsuccessful in their playoff run. I think we all understand that. And if they are unsuccessful in their playoff run, I think if they are unsuccessful in their playoff run, I think you're gonna see some guys move around, But if they do continue to be, develop from within, Asar and Ron Hollins, both are realistic, but at least one have to make an offensive jump. Ron is like second in defensive efficiency this year, so they just need somebody to make an offensive jump. But we'll see what happens. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe button, it's the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, Christians, notifications. Peace.